Hey, what's up? Welcome to the vlog. It's our first vlog here on the channel, and what I wanted to do was give you a bit of an insight into what a day can look like for me and for some of the members on my team. And so today is a really heavy day with Emmett. We'll be training at the gym. We're going to be going ahead and doing some planning for one of our upcoming events. We'll also be doing some boring work right here on my laptop like I do every day. And then we're going to go ahead and spend some time down at the Ritz, hang out, catch up, talk about our clients, work on some cool stuff, and yeah, bring you along for the ride. Now, am I going to sit here and give you a 12-hour time lapse of me like this? No, because it's quite boring. Obviously, throughout the day, I do a lot of work here at my desk, working with our clients, working on content, working on new strategies. But outside of that, here's what an average day can look like for me. All right, now this is Winston. This is one of the two Ecom Boss mascots. He is a mini dachshund. He's actually responsible for being the real coach at Ecom Boss. He's here giving feedback to our clients every single day, and obviously brings a lot of joy to our lives. And so if you're a client of ours, if you're meeting him at one of our Perth events, and we see a lot more of him on the channel.
Didn't expect to do that many reps.
Lightweight. You know, what's really interesting is doing the gym and doing online business, even though they're very different in terms of what we're physically doing, the mindset is quite the same. And oftentimes I get messages from people who say, you know, if this online business stuff is so easy, why doesn't everybody do it? And I like to remind them that there's a difference between simple and easy. And it's just like at the gym, going ahead and getting big biceps, and mine are nowhere as big as, say, Emmett's, for example. But getting big biceps is quite simple. You pick the weight up, you lift it, and you put it down, and you do it repeatedly. And if you have enough food to go along with it, you're going to get bigger arms. It's simple, but it's not easy. It hurts, requires discipline, requires you to watch what you're eating. But if you follow the simple instructions, you will get where you want to go. But most people fall off because they're just not willing to do the work. And it's the same thing with online business. If you have the right system in front of you, it's going to be simple. You follow the instructions, you do the work, and you're going to get the results. But it's not easy. It means you have to give up some of that precious Netflix time. You have to give up some time with your friends. You have to put some time in the early stages. You'll deal with times where you're not motivated, we don't feel like doing the work. But you're going to have to do it anyway. It's not easy, but it's simple. And as long as you're willing to put the time in, whether it's at the gym or whether it's building an online business, you'll get the results you want. An interesting story. So Emmett, who you've seen in a lot of the videos here on the channel, is our head coach. He's hiding over here. He's our head coach at Ecom Boss. But the story of how we met is very, very interesting, because he wasn't originally an ecom coach. He was a personal trainer, which is why he's a hell of a lot more jacked. And he was actually a personal trainer at a gym that I used to go ahead and train at. And that was how we met.
A lot of the students or a lot of the people online know me as like Emmett, like the head coach for Ecom Boss. I do a lot of the program, make sure that all the students that come in, they get results, they get supported, they get looked after. The only way to not do well is if you block me, which hasn't happened yet. So I'm annoyingly supportive. We're in the gym. Basically, it's a bit of a callback in a way to when James and I first met. Before I started in the ecom space, before I started working on ecom, I was originally a personal trainer. So I worked at this gym for a couple of years, building up my own PT business. Met James, got a bit of an idea of what he does, and then COVID came around. COVID had a major impact on my business. So that's when I basically went, okay, cool, I need to take my ecom seriously, because I was already sort of doing a little bit of ecom prior to COVID. COVID removed my ability to work. And that's when I took a second income stream very seriously. From there, I worked really hard in the program, absolutely put my life into it, made sure I took everything that James said as gospel and just basically worked hard at it, dedicated a lot of time. Simple, but it's not easy. But if you do it long enough, it becomes easy, right? Over time, I sort of proved myself as a star student, and then James actually took me on as a coach, and I started to help and work with other students and get them the same results that I got. And I've been doing that for years now. It's amazing seeing students in a similar position to me or in the same position as me or where I used to be, and I can bring them up to where I am now. Can't be living for the weekend. Take steps now. Get into what you want to get into. Take it seriously, because the cost of not taking it seriously is a lot more than the cost of just doing something now. There you go.
That's fire. Oh, that was poetry.
Yapatron.
That was poetry, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You know, what I love the most about our coaching team is that there is not a single person on our team that is a coach working with our client that did not start as a student themselves. I'm a big believer that you cannot teach something that you haven't done. And so if you haven't gone ahead and worked at the gym or trained at the gym and actually generated the body that you want, you can't really go out there and teach people how to do the same thing. I can't go ahead and teach karate because I don't know anything about karate. But every single one of my coaches started off in the position of a student. They invested into themselves. They followed the program. They learned the basics of our system, selling products online using free marketing channels like eBay, Etsy, and Marketplace. And then because they were so good, a few of them get selected based on their results, but also who they are as a person. And they can go ahead and then coach our beginners through the process because they've been through it all. They've been through the process, but they've also been through the highs and the lows and the emotions that come around with starting something new. And so what I love the most is that nobody on our team has not done exactly what it is that we teach. Selling products on free platforms. In fact, one of our clients who became a coach, Dan is somebody who came in, smashed it as a beginner. And when we were hanging out at the Sydney event, he was showing some of our clients at the lunch. He was like, oh, by the way, I spent a little bit more time on Marketplace this weekend, made $900 in profit while I was making my way over here to this event. It's crazy. And that's what I'm really, really proud of about our team. So Emmett, shining example, Dan, Nathan, you guys know who you are. And yeah, oftentimes after we hit the gym, we like to take the time to catch our breath and basically plan out for some of the things ahead of us in the week. And so oftentimes, middle of the week, we'll go and we'll smash some coffee and we'll look at clients. How are they doing? Where are they tracking? What can they be doing better to make more sales? If people are stuck, how can we get them unstuck? And then we can go ahead and take those game plans to the one-on-one calls that we do. We often have events around Australia, and so we have to plan those out, prepare those, get curriculum done, book flights, all that kind of stuff, and also just hang out and look at some new ideas that we can be putting into Ecom Boss and helping more people. So I'm gonna go ahead, smash a coffee, put together some plans, and we'll go from there. It's really funny, is one of the last times we were here, we were mapping out the Sydney event that we just recently did, and it was incredible. We had some of our best clients from all around the country fly in to the Sydney event. We spent some time with them. We had an event, we did some stuff afterwards. We had a beautiful breakfast in Sydney, and it was great. But this time we don't have to actually organize an event because we've somehow managed to convince some of our clients from all around Australia to fly to Perth for once, which I don't think many people in the history of Perth have actually convinced people to fly here. I think the last one was Coldplay to do that, actually. But we've got clients around the country who are absolutely smashing it. They've been getting incredible results of the program. And this time we said, how about the next event we do here in Perth? And obviously be here, our dogs will be here. And yeah, they're coming around in just over a month to come do something right here in our home city. So we're going to be planning a couple of things right now about what we're going to be teaching, a few surprises that they don't know about just yet. And when that event is done, we'll have like a little recap video on the channel that I think will be pretty cool. But yeah, looking forward to seeing them out here in Perth instead. You know, one of my favorite parts about the events that we do is seeing a lot of the repeat attendees who don't just come to the ones that are in the city, but we have some absolute superstars that fly for every single event.
100%.
And it's incredible. So for example, Noah and Jason, shout out to you two.
Yeah.
They're at every event.
Every event. Literally every event. One of my favorite things actually about Noah and Jason is, in a way, it feels like they actually like never sort of stop working. So they'll be like messaging me and hitting me up like the morning of the event, like talking about the ecom, going over what's in the program, even doing like ad reviews, just anything to help them get ahead right before the event. They'll then show up at the event with their laptop open, ready to go, to be like, yo, Emma, can you come check this out? And of course, like I love that. Like in a way, I love being asked the questions. I love when the students show up and they're like super attentive and they've already almost got like a game plan of what they want to go over with me, because it just adds so much to the event itself. And in a way, it inspires the rest of the event because I can then go, oh, okay, cool. This is like really meaningful to the students. They need a lot of work on this, or they want to work on this. So I'll like whip something up and put it in the event, because if one student's asking about it, other students need it too, right? So Jason and Noah are amazing for that. They're always so upfront about what they need. Another student, Courtney, she's a killer. Oh my God. Always shows up, always smiling, always ready to rock and roll, always killing it. Like I'll get messages from her. Like on Monday, I'll be like, oh, you know, how was your weekend, Courtney? What'd you get up to? She's like, oh, I was so busy all weekend. I was like, oh, what were you busy with? She's like, oh, fulfilling orders. I spent the whole weekend fulfilling orders. So I was like, all right, beautiful. Suffering from success. It's like it's a good problem to have. And then, yeah, we had Chris come along too for the last Sydney event. That was awesome. He's recently been absolutely killing it. He's absolutely been crushing it, smashing it. Like his interviews actually.
His interview, we have an interview on the channel. Me and him talking about how he did 70 grand in 2 months.
Yeah.
It was 80 grand. It's
80 grand in 2 months?
He's now left for Europe to travel US and make money online.
While in Europe, he's still messaging me.
Yes.
He's still sending me ad data. We're still scaling. We're still working even while on holiday. He's a weapon. He's killer. I love it.
There is something really cool about, you sort of have a conversation with a client and they jump in and they learn, and you see them go through the basics and they get their first win, and then they start to scale, and then you're almost at the point where they start to become really self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Right? They start to do it on their own, and then they come to the event, they're like, oh, by the way, here's my sales for this week. You're like, holy shit, like, you didn't even tell us anything
You
anymore.
didn't tell me you were doing that.
It's phenomenal. I remember Craig, it was at the Melbourne event, and he was there, and he had a store, was absolutely crushing it. And it was just refreshing as new sales were coming in. And then every few sales come in, it's like, all right, drinks on everyone, on me. Like, you know, you have to flex on everyone too hard. It's just great. It really is fun. And I'm excited for the Perth one, for sure.
Oh, 100%. I think Perth's going to be awesome. Back on home soil.
Oh, yeah.
And I still can't believe, like, we put out the idea, because we thought, oh, no one wants to come to Perth.
No way. But
Yeah, no one wants to come to Perth, and we put out the idea, and obviously we have enough students that are like killing it, crushing it, that they're gonna come over to Perth for the elite event, spend some time with us, meet our families. We get to meet them, hang out with them, and treat them, take them out for something nice. I've already got like ideas.
Yeah.
I'm already messaging some of the students. You know, what would you like? What would you like? What would you like?
Well, let's not jinx it, right? Because they could be watching the video and they're like, nah, fuck it. Nah, I'm not going. Everyone's canceling their flights. Like, nah, these guys are too excited.
People have got flights booked in months in advance. Like literally, as soon as I spoke about it 2 months ago, they're already locked in for it, and it's for the end of the year. So it's awesome. Mad respect. It's killer.
Ecom Boss students do it differently.
Ecom Boss students do it differently.
All right, so we smashed the gym, had a coffee, showered up, and did a few hours of work. Clients, a lot of responding, a lot of feedback, did a couple of client calls, and now what we're gonna go ahead and do is head down to the Brits, have a drink, chat, and just have some fun before day ends. All right, so all done. Spent a little bit of time there working on a few little tweaks to the program that I feel will be really, really helpful for the students. It's quite funny how when you look at results and you see the consistency of what's working and what's not, where do people get stuck, and you can find these little tiny tweaks that if you add as a reminder or you take things away or simplify things, we know that we'll see a 5, 10, 15% increase in results just from those tiny little things.
It's always the smallest things, and honestly, if you're not updating your program all the time, non-stop, finding new ways to improve, or constantly revisiting what you're doing, you're going to get complacent, and you're going to end up with your students suffering results-wise. So if you're ever looking at a program and they haven't updated their program in 2 years, 1 year, pray God, even 6 months, they're behind, right?
The whole thing is out of date.
So we effectively are catching up and reviewing the program every month to ensure that it is as up to date as possible, and we're getting the best results possible. Now, a lot of things stay the same, but oftentimes it's small details that make the biggest difference.
100%. And that's the reason why when you look at, say, Ecom Boss results versus a lot of other people, there's a reason for that. It's because we're teaching what's working right now, not what worked 3 years ago, because that program has never been updated ever since. Well, that's it. That's the end of the vlog. I hope you guys found that useful. And once again, I'm not going to do a 10-hour boring time lapse of me sitting at my computer all day. But that's my question to you. Do you want to see more of the engaging stuff, or what it is we do, the more interesting stuff throughout the day? Or do you want to see what it's actually like, what it is like developing the program, working with the clients, more of the strategies, what we're teaching them each and every day, what we're putting in, what we're taking out that's leading to all the results you're seeing? Let us know in the comments section below. I hope you had a blast, Emmett. Thanks for tagging along today.
More than happy to.
And we'll see you guys in the next one.